APC National Chairman Senator Abdullahi Adamu is worried about the gale of defection from his party. And it appears coast is now clear for INEC to extend the continuous voter registration exercise to allow more Nigerians to get their PVCs and get registered ahead of the 2023 general elections. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloe in Abuja. Let's get straight to it, everyone. Tonight, let's tell you that there is a present wave of crisis in the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, and this is perhaps the reason why the leadership is very worried about the manner in which its membership is being depleted every day. Today, the national chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, has expressed concern over the wave of defections of federal lawmakers in the APC to opposition parties. He said this today after a closed-door meeting with party members at the National Assembly. Senator Adamu admitted that while the party is worried about the gale of defections, nothing can be done about it. According to the chairman, defections are normal during an election year, as those who feel dissatisfied with the outcome of party primaries are free to test their popularity in other political parties. Adamu's comment comes a day after two senators from the party defected to the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Let's also tell you that it does look for a good news for those who are willing to register, but maybe they've seen some kind of obstacle because of the deadline by INEC on continued voter registration exercise across the country. But today is as if there might be some extension. The chair of the House Committee on INEC in the House of Representatives, Honorable Aisha Duku, informed the lawmakers at plenary that INEC will extend the continuous voter registration exercise. She stated this while reporting back to the House after being directed last week by the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, to interact with the electoral body. The Speaker's directive followed a motion on the need for INEC to extend the exercise and not disenfranchise willing Nigerians. The election in Ekiti has been met with a lot of reactions. IPAC is speaking, political parties in that participated, candidates that were in the ring also are talking about the outcome of the exercise. In fact, today, the governor-elect, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji and his running mate had received a certificate of return from INEC. But beyond all of that, these are series of events, but a major factor has emerged, which has become some kind of pattern in which political parties operate, especially the major political parties in the country. If you look at past elections, off-cycle election in Ekiti and Osun State, they've come so close to each other. Now, when Ekiti election happens, few weeks later, Osun election will also happen. Now, as soon as the Ekiti election was done, there are a lot of blames that were being passed around the room, especially in the People's Democratic Party. You must have heard and seen while leaders of the PDP are already blaming each other and looking at what cost the PDP's dismal performance at that election. Dismal in the sense that PDP in 2018 had won 2 local government areas. In 2014, won 16 local government areas. You see that there is a kind of decline as far as the PDP is concerned. But this time around, the PDP could only win F1. 1 local government area out of the 16 local government areas. And now the PDP is worried that this may affect their chances in Osun State, as this trend might be what will repay itself in Osun State. Will that happen? Well, did that happen the last time? It did happen. In 2018, APC won in Ekiti, and they in turn won also in Osun State. Now, Let's tonight look at what happened in Ekiti and also look ahead of Osun State governorship election, which will happen in just about 3 weeks from this time. Tonight, I'm being joined by a former national executive of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Diron Odeyemi, and also Senator Ajibola Basiru, a sitting senator representing Osun State in the National Assembly. Both of them are from Osun State and joining us virtually. Thank you so much, distinguished, and Mr. Odeyemi for joining us tonight. Let's begin.
Thank you very much for bringing me on. I'm happy to be with you.
There's a lot of blames that are going around in your party. Some are largely blaming Mr. Ayodele Fayose on the crisis in the party and what led to the election. I saw some tweets about the reaction of Mr. Fayose when he was responding to, one of the chieftains of the party. For those who believe that the loss of the PDP in Ekiti State was self-inflicted, do you think so?
Yes, I believe so. And that is exactly the situation. And that was what happened. Self-inflicted in the sense that whatever vote is counted for Engineer Segun Oni normally should go to PDP. For the mere fact that he contested under another political party is immaterial. The PDP defeated PDP in that election. And it is quite unfortunate that Nigerian politicians don't imbibe the spirit of sportsmanship, because if you lose an election at the primary level, one would have expected Engineer Oni to cooperate with the winner, Mr. BC Kolawole, and supporting him in such a way that PDP will have won that election. But here is Engineer Oni, who defected, and of course this is his characteristics, and it's quite unfortunate that our electoral law does not give room or gave room to people defecting from one political party to another and overnight becoming the candidate. So in a way, we lost to the internal conspiracy. And if you look at it this way, you may not know this, but I want to tell you this, that you may think or you may say that Engineer Oni came second. He came second because he had the support of PDP governors. He had the support of PDP leaders, because many of them believe that, he is the candidate and he is their candidate, and they supported him where he went to contest, leaving our candidate alone. And the evidence of that is that throughout the campaign, none of the national officers, the presidential candidate, Abubakar Atiku, the chairman of the party, Senator Iyosha Ayu, none of them came to Ekiti to campaign for PDP candidate, which is very absurd, which was part of the reason why we had that credibility problem. And as a result, the party members were not enthusiastic enough. They were not encouraged. So if we say PDP lost that election, we lost to PDP internal crisis. That is just it. Not to blame anybody.
All right. So that on one hand,
Mr. Fayose should be blamed. Blamed for what? I don't understand.
Mr. Adeyemi, just a moment. That on one hand, you've given a reason for the conspiracy within your party. But let's look at it. For those of us who watch the election figures closely, you will see that there is a pattern in that election. Nothing really changed from 2018 to 2022. It's just a difference about less than 11,000 in the pattern of voting. That is the difference between the votes of the PDP and the vote of the APC. So I'm saying this because if you look at Engineer Segun Oni, who left the PDP for the SDP, and if you put the figures of BC Kolawole with that of Engineer Segun Oni, compare with what APC got, and you compare those figures to 2018, you discover that it's just a difference of about 10,000. So the pattern really did not change. So for those who think that maybe the PDP will have had a good day in Ekiti State, based on the fact that those patterns were still much the same. The PDP had its voters with it, and they stuck with PDP, and by extension, Engineer Segun Oni, who in some of the minds of the voters is still a PDP person. So they went to the vote, to the voting unit to vote for an Eshegun who they think is a PDP member. Those are some of the arguments. But on the other hand, is those who believe that the likes of Senator Biodun Olujimi are aggrieved. And you know Omuo, I mean, in one of the local government area, is a stronghold of Senator Olujimi. And in that sense, all of the internal crises which the likes of the leader of your party in Ekiti State, the former governor, Defection, is unable to reconcile these differences, was one of the major causes of the defeat of your party. Are you looking also into that area?
If we are talking of loyalty to the party, former governor of Ekiti State, Defection, is just an individual. Do we now say because you lost an election at primary election is a process? You will agree with me. It was because Mr. Peter Obi could not withstand the process in PDP, and he knew quite well that he was not going to win the presidential election. That was why he left. Engineer Oni stood back simply because he thought he could win the primary election. And the moment he lost that primary election, he was aggrieved and he left the party. And a good and loyal party people, irrespective of whatever is the crisis, will stay by the party. After all, it wasn't the name of engineer of Bisi Kolawole or Peter Ayodele Fayose was on the ballot paper. It was PDP. And this is the problem with PDP.
The blame is that Governor Fayose was unable, just a moment, the blame was that Governor Fayose was unable to reconcile the differences in the party. There are leaders of the party that are not happy. Those who have said that, I understand, are saying that they will work against the PDP, but they remain PDP members. But Ayodele Fayose, who is the leader of the party in the state, was unable to reconcile these differences. These are some of the allegations that we are hearing from the members of the party in Ekiti State.
What I want you to understand is that political party is bigger than an individual. Assuming Ayodele Fayose could not resolve whatever you are calling the crisis, what is the party at the national level doing? Are they now saying because there is crisis in Ekiti, they have to lead them to that crisis and lead them to that trouble? And we have seen the result now. And what I'm now saying is, we only pray this will not go further into 2023 election. Because if you are now saying because you have you are fighting Ayodele Fayose, and because of that you are not showing the support to the candidate that won the primary election, yeah, you are not doing the Ayodele Fayose, you are undoing the party, and you are not loyal, and it is unfair. But then PDP suffer. All right, so
I would like to ask you, you are a chieftain of the party in Osun State, and you are with Senator Ademola Adeleke, who is a candidate of your party. So the fear in the camp of Osun PDP is that what played out in Ekiti will play out also in Osun State, because the Accord Party candidate in your party was aggrieved. He left for the Accord Party. And there are a lot of people who are also aggrieved. Similar scenario that played out in Ekiti is also playing out in Osun PDP.
It is not the same. It is not the same in the sense that Ogunbiyi that left PDP for Accord is an unpopular candidate. He was never part of us. He only came after 4 years to seek for the candidature or to seek for the ticket of the party. So he is on his own. Much as you are talking about PDP today, we should also look into APC, where, as I'm talking to you now, the former governor of the state, Aregbesola, does not even form part, his name does not come up as part of the campaign committee. So all his people, that is all the APC, are divided too. For the mere fact that they are not on the ballot in another political party does not mean that there is unity in them. What I'm now telling you is that Ekiti is not Osun. Our scenarios are different, and you will see the difference in June 16.
All right, let me bring in Senator Ajibala Basiru in the same vein, in the same train of questioning. What happened, Senator, in Ekiti State? Do you think your party ruled on the strength of the crisis and the weaknesses of the PDP to win in Ekiti? Because I know you also took part largely as a leader of the party in that region, in that zone, in Ekiti. Do you think that your party rode on the strength or the weakness of the PDP in Ekiti State?
Not really, and I will say that what my brother, there is saying is basically fallacious, and it is not backed by empirical data emanating from the election. He has said that what really happened is PDP losing to PDP. But when you look at the hard figures, our candidate, the APC, won with 53% of the votes. It means that the total votes to all other contesting political parties, including the PDP, SDP, NNPP, Labour Party, and all other parties, are just paltry 47%. In a plurality democratic system that we practice, simple majority will be 50.1%. So if our party had won with 53%, then it is not a case of PDP losing to PDP. It's a case of total loss of PDP because of the fact that the PDP, and I say this emphatically, is an asphyxiating and dying party in the southwest part of Nigeria. And the recent huge loss in the electoral processes, not only in 2018 in Ekiti and Osun State, but in 2019 in the general election, speak to the fact that as far as southwest Nigeria is concerned, PDP is a fast, dying party and will be ultimately buried on July 16, 2022 in the state of Osun. And as to his contention that he has said that it was because of infighting within their party, assuming without conceding that even Segun would team up with Bisi Kolawole, it will mean that both of them will get less than 40% of the total forecast. It will be a kind of symbiotic failure of the two coalition. Now he has not minded his business, because when you say you want to point at somebody's nose, you first remove, with respect to him as my elder brother, the speck in his own eyes. I know just yesterday there was a court of appeal decision in Akure. We sent back a contentious matter about the leadership of the party of the PDP in Osun. And that case has been remitted back for consideration of the pending motions and original summons. As it is today, it is even an Ondo man that is the chairman of the caretaker committee of the PDP. And as to his reference to my leader, my mentor and benefactor, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, I know Ogbeni Aregbesola will never do anything against the interest of the Progressive Party in Osun. It may be his wish, but that wish is just a mere wishful thinking. Then now talking about the state of our party in Osun, the last contest that we had with the PDP was the 2019 general election. Our presidential candidate, President Muhammadu Buhari, won with more than 10,000 votes at the general election. In the 3 senatorial contests, out of the 3 senatorial districts, my party won 2, Osun West and Osun Central. Out of 9 federal House of Representatives seats at stake, my party won 6 out of 9. I think that's quite impressive, about 70% margin. Out of 26 state assembly on offer, my party won 23 out of 26. So when you are looking at the state of the last contest we had before the present election, it starts to speak that the party to beat is actually the APC, and the PDP is far.
Some glitches there, technical wise, in the connection with Senator Basura Ajibala. Basically breaking down from the APC point of view on the state of the race in Osun State, gleaning from the experience of Ekiti State. Senator Ajibala, if you may continue, I understand that you're back now.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that the track record of our government in Osun has endeared the majority of the people to us, to the extent that what will befall the PDP on July 16 will be far worse than what befell them in Ekiti State. In the area of infrastructure, we have performed credibly well. in the area of interface with the public service, not a single minute has the public service gone on strike because of a cohesive conducive working atmosphere created by the administration of Governor Itola. In the area of education, we have not only revitalized the educational sector, but we revigorate the sector by employing 1,000 teachers based on merit and also rejuvenate the infrastructure in that area. In the health sector, we have been able to set up 320 primary health care centers in the 332 wards in our state, created the health insurance scheme and supported it with 630 million as a takeoff grant. In the area of arrears of pension, 500 million is paid every year to clear the arrears of pension from the time that the state was created. In terms of contributory pension scheme, Osun is only one of the 5 states in Nigeria that actually adhere and are fidel to the payment of pensioners. But this commitment does not derogate from our infrastructure and improvement in the state. We have been able to construct and rehabilitate more than 500 kilometers of road and do more than 5,000 art roads in Osun in the past 3.5 years. So when you look at this interface with our people, the qualitative and the development in the area of welfare of our people too, there's no doubt that PDP, a dying party, will eventually met his last breath on July 16, 2022 in the state of Osun.
All right. So, Senator, yeah, if I may coming into, and ask you this. Now, you see the wave of defection in your party, especially in the National Assembly, which you speak for. There is a gale of defection. I'm understanding that about 22 senators or lawmakers are set to dump the APC. It's so bad that when your party, a few days ago, your party had leaders in the National Assembly who have dumped their seat and moved to the other party. So you wonder that how this psychologically will affect the chances of your party, a party that lawmakers and federal lawmakers that is, and leaders of the party, and jumping ship. It shows maybe they don't believe in the party any longer and they don't believe the party is viable. Wouldn't this affect your chances in Osun State?
I like speaking to facts. One, I want to first say that all politics are local. The politics of the state of Osun is different from national politics. And I don't know any of the existing National Assembly members in the state of Osun that has defected to the party. So if, arguments will be on the basis of defection, I don't see how defection of somebody in Kebbi State or somebody in Katsina State will not affect the fortune of my party in the state of Osun. Secondly, too, even at the National Assembly, when we take this course, as at the time that the National Assembly was inaugurated on June 11, 2019, there were 63 National Assembly senators belonging to the APC. Today, even with the defection of some of the members of our party, we still stood at 67. That means that we have gained 4 senators in advantage over the People's Democratic Party. And there's the question of people defecting. They may have their reasons. Some of them may be because they have lost popularity in their party. It may be because of the peculiar challenges or what they face in their state. But what I know is that the Southwest has spoken in Ekiti and will speak louder in Osun to say that the PDP, to the extent that it does not even have regard for the cohesion of the country, does not have regard for the federal character nature of our country, and to the extent that it does not even care about the feelings of the people of the southern Nigeria in terms of power shift, will be rarely rejected in the election of July 16, 2023. And in any event, when you look at what is on ground today, and you will soon see that before July 14, and I say this, you can mark my word, the PDP in Osun would have become an empty shell before that election.
All right, quickly, just in 30 seconds, if you may respond, because I'd like Ms. Odeyemi to come back into the conversation. There are a lot of people who talk about the wave of followership and popularity of the PDP candidate, Senator Ademola Adeleke, whom a lot of PDP members and leaders in the PDP in Osun State believe that he actually won the election, but for some technical reason, the victory was given to your candidate and your governor. That's the belief in the camp of the PDP in Osun State. I mean, you heard him probably seen the video that he has promised that they will defeat the APC, one. Secondly, that whatever it takes, they have the wherewithal to battle the APC. And he's also said, if it is money, that they have it in pounds, they have it in dollars, and they have it as well in naira. Are you prepared for what looks like a battle that the PDP is bringing to your doorstep?
I think I would say that it's rather unfortunate that somebody aspiring to the highest office in the state could be such kind of boasts about having money in pounds, in dollars, to be able to induce voters. It speaks to the credibility of that candidate and to that ticket. And I've addressed a press conference yesterday, day before yesterday, that there's a need for EFCC and ICPC to investigate the source of his wealth and also taking to task as to the intention, manifest intention to commit offense, because he has shown that he wants to commit offense of inducement of voters, which I know is an electoral offense. But go to speak with it. I would say that it would rather be unfortunate for People's Democratic Party to bring somebody with respect, and I say this with utmost respect, who has no cognate experience in any field or in any work or endeavor in life to seek to preside over a state of 4.8 million people. As at the last time, and I have a copy of the two from CFO1 that he filled, he initially claimed he has secondary school certificate. In the present one he filled, he deliberately omitted it because he knew that was suspect. So when you have somebody who has 30 years of private sector experience, somebody who has more than a decade experience in public servant being offered by our party, and then somebody who does not even have a single hour of any experience in any meaningful, fruitful endeavor running to office, and he talked that he won election. The election of 2018 was won by a party. They challenged it up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court made its verdict. So if somebody is reopening, the matter is people terrors. And I told you, the last contest we had with them was in 2019, and they were roundly defeated. 23 we won out of 26 out of assembly, 2 out of 3 senatorial districts, 6 out of federal representatives. These are figures.
Senator, I need to bring in Ms. Odeyemi back into the conversation. Ms. Odeyemi, I'd like you to respond to what Senator Ajibola Basiru just said about how the race will go. I mean, your candidate has openly said and declared war that, look, we will roundly defeat the APC, and they have the wherewithal. Is that the state of affairs or the state of the mind of some of the leaders in Osun and what you are preparing for?
What Ajibola Basiru failed to mention is the issue of vote buying in Osun State. In 2018, in the election, he is claiming that they won. Their leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was in Osun State and told us categorically that he has money to win Osun State. He told us that even the money he is bringing to Osun State is more than the money anybody could counter. And that was the reason why one of our supporters asked that question. Would it not be the same thing that happened in 2018, whereby money was used against us? And in a bravado or in a manner to reassure our people, that was when the senator said, yes, if it is money this time, we will match them. Naira for naira, dollar for dollar, fire for fire. And as a matter of fact, APC has their own way of doing things and getting results by all means. And what we are saying in Osun State is that people have rejected them, and they are going to exhibit that with their voters card on the 16th of July. But what we are begging and what we want Nigerians to take note is that they should please help us beg them not to stop killing our people. As I'm talking to you now, we have lost almost 5 of our members. We have reported this to security agencies. They are using Amotekun, which they said they created because of terrorism or kidnapping in Osun State. They are using it as a weapon to terrorize the electorate in Osun. In Ilesha yesterday, they shot guns in such a way that people of Ilesha even closed their door against them. In Ijebu-Jesha, the same thing happened. They have started. They are empowering the thugs, and they are assuring the electorate that they have the money to buy them. But the people of Osun State, we reject them with their vote on the 16th of January. I'm happy to hear that my brother is reeling achievements of Governor Oyetola. Good enough. He has not mentioned the area of security in Osun State. We are in this Osun State where people are kidnapped averagely on weekly basis. In my town, in Ibokun, we don't have a bank again. In Ikinu, there is hardly a bank there simply because the robbers took over. It's not talking about that. The education is in comatose. Even the building they said, Aregbesola left, they said they did a quantity survey or whatever, that it was substandard. And here is the education sector, they said they spent billions of naira on. As we are talking now, they said they bought an helicopter for surveillance, for security purposes. We don't know the whereabouts of that helicopter today. They said they were building the airport at Idu Osun. What has become of that airport with billions of naira sunk into the project? It's not talking about that. The only thing we saw in Osun State is the bridge they built.
We're due for a break.
And they are claiming to achieve
so
something.
we need to take that break. And when we come back, we continue the conversation. And this is not the only agenda we have tonight on the program. There's so much more. We'll focus also on the presidential election. We have one of the presidential candidates right with us on the program. Stay with me, everyone. We continue the conversation between Senator Ajibola Basiru and Mr. Diron Odeyemi on Osun State election and what will become of the contest that different political parties will run into. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. So much, everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. So we looked at Ekiti State governorship election and the outcome, especially what the differences between the APC and the PDP, some of the issues in the PDP. And of course, whether or not that trend of victory from the APC can replay itself in the Osun governorship election, which is just about 3 weeks away. Let's get back to the conversation and a closing moment with my two guests on that topic, Senator Ajibola Basiru and Mr. Diron Odeyemi, both of them who are virtually speaking with us tonight. Let's get back now. I'd like Senator Basiru Ajibola to respond to what Mr. Odeyemi has said in relation to the performance of your candidate and the chances of your party.
You see, if he cannot blow the trumpet of his candidates and that of his party, I think the Adeleke dynasty will sack him this night. So I will not join issue with him as to what he has said. But what I know is that truth and falsehood are clearly separated. The performance of our students at the external examinations in the past 3 years, and the records are there to show, speak to what we are talking about in terms of our investment in the education sector. The National Bureau of Statistics has also talked about the quantum of investment that we have been able to generate into our society. And for him to say that the only road we have done is the Olaya flyover, maybe he's no longer staying in Osun. I know he has a lot of affinity with Ibadan. He will also go to Okegada, which is the homestead of their candidate, and see that the first set of road infrastructure were done by Governor Itola in Ede, the homestead of the Adeleke dynasty. And that the road from Ede, Ara, Ejigbo has also been tarred, as well as many other township roads, including the Bokun, where I campaigned today. Then to talk about question of insecurity. Yes, there's a general pervasive sense of insecurity in Nigeria, but I just say that Osun is still one of the safest states in the state. We cannot afford to demarket our state on the altar of politicking, and a lot of investment can go into the area of security. But if you check your phone, Shane Okibaloye, I sent to you and your producer pictures of vandalization of the billboards of our party and our governor in Osun, so that you may possibly beam it out to show as empirical evidence of the act of vandalism and brigandage that the People's Democratic Party are capturing. I also know that the candidate of their party, Debola Adeleke, paraded a known thug who is wanted by name Emir in Osogbo. And we said clearly, and they have not denied it, that known thug called Emir was given 7 million and some weapon in order to wreak atrocity. The reference he made to Amotekun was an attack by the PDP talks on the house of the commander of Amotekun, Comrade Amitolu Amishitu, which have reported to the police and are taking it up. And of course, a known talk of the PDP made attempts to attack our convoy in Elisha yesterday when we were coming back from campaign. It was prepared by security agents, and a necessary petition had been written to the police, which I can forward to you. We have invested so much in security. The belief of our governor by Section 14 of the Constitution, which is sworn to uphold, is that security and welfare of the people is a paramount purpose of governance. We will not sacrifice the security of our people. We will not sacrifice the free, convivial nature of our people's existence on the altar of political experiences. And we urge the People's Democratic Party in good conscience to so act in that regard. And as to his reference to my leader, my mentor, my benefactor, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I'm one of the lawyers that looked into the petition they filed against our party in 2018. There were no allegations of inducement of voter and voters buying. So by logic, I would say what he is now saying is really an afterthought that has no empirical basis. And to justify the open and brazen the legal statement of Demola Adeleke, somebody supposed a district senator of Federal Republic of Nigeria, on the basis of a statement that was made by my leader, which was not contested, which has not been an issue, is just, for me, an afterthought, for him.
All right.
As to
Senator, we need to wrap up this conversation now. And I'd like Mr. Odeyemi to quickly respond just in a few minutes before we close the program. Mr. Odeyemi, your response.
It is logical to gauge the popularity of the governor. If Ajibola Bashiru is telling the whole world that he went to Elisha and the people tried to attack him, and that is a governor you are claiming,
I said a member of your party and has been reported.
That shows the popularity of your governor. If you now claim that his posters and billboards are being vandalized everywhere, that shows how popular the governor is. What I want to tell you is that as a political party, you have the habit of testing whatever it is you want to do, or accusing PDP of whatever it is you are doing. And that is exactly what is playing out here. PDP has no talk. We don't have the money. You are the one that employed talk. You call them senior boys or whatever. And you are the one that is using Amotekun against us. And we employ the security agencies in the state not to sleep over this matter. We have made a lot of allegations. We have written petitions. We have addressed a press conference. We are yet to hear from them. We call on the IG. We call on the director of SSS, wherever, to please come to our rescue, because we are no longer safe, because APC wants to be in government at all costs. But the people of Osun State will reject them come July 16th by the special grace of God.
All right. We need to close this conversation, but I must sincerely thank both of you. But let me be fair to give 20 seconds of closing moment for each of you. Senator, do you have 20 seconds to just close your thoughts?
I will only say a Yoruba adage. If we are the one that are speaking the truth or not, the public will know on July 16, 2022. Osun people will reject, the bad product that PDP is marketing, for us.
Mr. Odeyemi,
my appeal to the people of Osun State is not to sell their votes. They may come with whatever amount, 20,000, that's what we had. They are going to start buying votes. Please don't sell your future. Your future belongs to the progress of Osun State, and it is in the hands of Senator Nuruddin Ademola Jackson Adeleke. By the special grace of God, we are going to rule this state with the fear of God. And we put smiles on your face. Don't sell your votes. That's my message.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming tonight. And that's how we wrap up that conversation. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Senator Ajibola Bashiru and, of course, Mr. Odeyemi. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let's do this now and speak with one of the youngest, if not the youngest, in the presidential race of 2023. He emerged as a presidential candidate of the Accord Party, where two other aspirants stepped down for him. Professor Christopher Imomalain. He was the candidate of Accord Party, and he's starting about his chances and what he has in store for the people of Nigeria. He joins us live from our Lagos studio. Thank you so much, Prof, for joining us tonight, and congratulations on your emergence as a candidate of the Accord Party. Give us a sense of what this challenge is for you. As a young person, is there a connection, a link between your personality, your candidature, and the people of Nigeria, especially the young people? Are they seeing the reason why they need to come out to vote in February 2023?
Okay, thank you, Sean, for having me in your program. Okay, you know, Nigerian youth have clamored for young participation in the Nigerian politics, and we thank the present administration for granting that cry, and we have the Not Too Young to Run bill. And I am, like you said, the youngest presidential candidate, and the youth of Nigeria have been clamoring to have a young presidential candidate, and we have one. 39 years old president, and if you look at the antecedent of Nigeria, you know quite well that those who had developed Nigeria to where it is today are young. Those who fought for our independence did that when they were young. Those who, you know, even our present president, he performed better when he was young than when he came. You know, these are there, you know, and Nigerians now have to themselves choices to make come 2023. I am young, I'm progressive. You know, I'm the only Nigerian who owns 3 universities across the scope of the world. I've done quite well for myself. The only person, I believe, who had provided scholarship to about 500,000 Nigeria quietly. And I believe also that this is the time whereby we need to jettison politicians and people who believe that politics is just about themselves. For me, I believe in a philosophy. If Nigeria must move forward, then those who have done well privately, those who have vision, who are in tune with the reality on what is happening on ground, should begin to look at politics. And that is why I'm here, and I believe the chances are clear. And we see the enormous turnout of Nigerians now going out to pick their PVCs, Nigerians calling for new leadership. 2023 election for me, believe me, is going to be a game changer.
All right, let me ask you, because it is also important that if anybody must lead you, they need to show capacity and the reason why they are capable of leading you. So the question tonight is Professor Imomalain that is asking Nigerians to vote for him as a president. Who is Professor Imomalain, and what do you have, what do you bring to the table that is for you to want to seek the highest office in Nigeria? Why should Nigerians submit their destinies into your hands as the #1 citizen come 2023?
Because number one, Nigeria is already at the verge, not even at the verge, Nigeria is at the verge of it's almost at the dead end. If Nigeria must begin to prosper, then one person like me, who has checked my record, you can check it, I am the only African, the only black person whose name is listed in the World Book of Greatness. And this is because in 2019, I empowered over 6,000 Nigerians. You know, and look at, check my NGO, Unique Foundation, have over 6 million members. We've been doing this for the past 15 years, supporting Nigeria with rural electrification, doing this with private funds. And I believe that if we believe that politics is a dirty game, and genuine Nigerians who have the heart towards the prosperity of Nigeria, even as we speak now, Nigeria is one of the few countries in West Africa who still suffer power problem. And we have what it takes. We have people who have done this. I work for a company in the US who, just a company, provides over 30,000 megawatts. Nigeria as a country, we still struggle to provide 4,000 to 6,000 megawatts of power. The solution to Nigerian problem is not rocket science. The solution to Nigeria's problem is someone who has the heart, who has the competence, who have what it takes. And if I had said that those who transformed Nigeria did that at their young age, someone like Yakubu Gowon was a president even as a bachelor, and they did well. In our days, we are the technology age. We are the ones that understand how to fix things. Yes, those our fathers who have governed this country have done their best. They've impacted the best. But the truth is this: even when you have a company and you run the company for 15, 20 years, you start losing out of ideas. You know, what the problem with Nigeria today is that leaders have done their best, but they are no more in tune with the reality on ground. We just watched 2 sections, and you can see we spend so much time arguing about who to win, what to win, rather than how to fix the problem in Nigeria today. So for me,
you can hear me. Apologies to cut into your line of thought, but I need to come in now. The question I was asking, and so a lot of Nigerians will be wondering, we'll get to some of the issues and some of the solutions you are bringing to the table. But the question is about who you are. A lot of Nigerians don't know you. What is your pedigree? What have you done for yourself? What is your training like? What is your expertise? Where have you worked? What is your area of expertise? Why should Nigerians think or give them an understanding about who you are and your expertise? What did you train in? Where did you train? Who is Professor Imomalen?
Professor Christopher, I'm from Edo State, I'm Isha. I own 3 universities, Global Wealth University in Ghana and Togo. I'm the founder of South Amazon University in Costa Rica. I'm also the founder of Pan American College in California. I'm the founder of Unique Foundation, that is one of the biggest NGO in Nigeria in terms of numerical strength. I'm also the founder of Global Wealth System. Global Wealth System is a business network that I've supported and trained over 450,000 members. Last year or last 2 years, I supported a lot of Nigerians with a lot of funds, millions of funds supporting them. We have been doing this for years. I have 3 PhDs, I have 2 PhDs, and 3 master's degrees. And I am the only Nigerian whose name is listed in the Workbook of Greatness in the UK. I'm also one of the few Africans who is a member of the Presidential Civility Club in the United States. I have done a lot privately in terms of supporting Nigerians and seeing how Nigerians can be uplifted from the shackles of poverty. My intention for running for president is to see how we can set Nigeria back into the map of prosperous nation in the world. You know, at my age, 39 years, if I personally would have achieved this, considering the enormous hardship that we have in this continent and Nigeria, it means that I also have what it takes to impact Nigeria.
Right, you spoke about power, if I may come there, although I've still not gotten, you said you had 3 master's degree and 2 PhDs. You've still not told us the area of expertise, because what is in area of science, humanities? What exactly is your area of expertise? But that you probably need to clarify for Nigerians, because a lot of them who do not know, you need to know. You spoke about power and that you work with an organization that generates about 30,000 megawatts. That is a major problem in this country. Should you be president, if you were elected president in 2023, how would you solve it? And how long can you take it to do that?
Number one, we do not monopolize a sector that is needed for national growth. Power industry is one of the major sectors that Nigeria should fix, and we should not run it on a monopoly system. I understand that the power industry, especially from the distribution network, has been outsourced, and but we need to begin to advance it and ensure that investors are brought in to support to build power. Countries like Togo, countries like Benin Republic run a 24-hour economy because of power solution. So if we must run as a country, we need to begin to look at alternative sources of power. We need to begin to look at policy framework. The major challenge with the power sector is the policy framework, having to have monopoly in that sector. You need a leader who had not signed any agreement, a leader who can come in, fix the problem because he has Nigerian at heart. That is what we have been demonstrating for the past 15 years, and that is what we are going to bring on board. The power problem in Nigeria, yes, technical know-how, but majorly policy problem. We need to liberalize that economy, that industry, and ensure more persons who understand how to run this, more persons who have genuine mindset for Nigeria, and those who would come in and fix this is allowed to.
Because we have a few things to touch on, and quickly too. What specifically would you do? Would you liberalize the other sectors, because there was privatization of a sector within the power sector in Nigeria? What specifically would you do? How many megawatts are you going to target and can you achieve, since you have experience in these areas?
Okay, number one, You know, megawatt, Nigeria needs a minimum of 100,000 megawatts to run. And that, of course, cannot be produced just from one single source of power. Once Nigeria power sector is liberalized, and let me say this, yes, liberalizing power sector is a very huge accolade task because you have a lot of investors who have invested in the power system. So what we need to do is to call a stakeholder meeting and have them understand the reason why Nigeria power needs to be liberalized. It's for the good of Nigeria and for the good of themselves. You know, we live in a country where that we need to begin to tell ourselves the truth. If Nigeria must move forward, we need to begin to look at the problems in Nigeria and begin to solve it holistically. The problem of Nigeria is Nigeria ourselves. And we need a man who possesses this wisdom to call in all these stakeholders together and have us resolve this problem together without conflict. I know what I'm saying because it's a deep revelation. And for many of us who have been close to this, we understand that Nigerians by themselves is in the pocket of a lot of Nigerians. So how do we get this out? Is by wisdomic, consolidation, discussing with those who already have this in their hands and have it out. And we are going to make that happen because Nigerians need it. So for the power industry, power is very, very important for production of, for employment that we talked about, to run a 24-hour economy. So what we're going to do is to see how we can, like I said, bring in investor, look at alternative sources of power, look at generating power through renewable energy, through areas of power that will emit zero carbon, and ensure that Nigeria power sector is solved once and for all. Since 1960, we have not been able to fix our power problem. Why? Because the problem is within us, and that can be solved by looking at it here.
All right. I'd like to touch on another area, although I'm not quite, I don't know, Nigerians will be the judge anyway, because I wanted something more specific on the area of power in fixing it, rather than, I mean, there are policy issues are important, but Nigerians are looking for drastic decision in that area. But I'd like to take you to security, but before we go there, your profile shows that you were born in September of 1983, so you will be 40 in September of next year. It then means that I'm not sure you're eligible by even the not too young to run bill, because it provides for someone who wants to be president to be of 40 years by the election year. So election month is in February, but you will be 40 in September. Can you explain that?
It's 35 by the not too young to run bill.
I think 35 for governorship, 40 for president.
No, you check it, it's
maybe
35,
I'm missing something here.
Yeah, it's 35, please. I've done that. I've done the analysis.
So can you talk to us about the
security.
issue of security?
Yeah,
what is your solution? There is...
Okay, the issue of security, you know, security is, it's a problem that is caused by multifaceted challenges that we are faced with as a nation. Number one is the economic hardship. You know, you cannot tackle security just by investing in weapons, and there's a lot of issues with security. A country that is faced with enormous economic hardship is bound to have serious security challenges. We have over 70 million Nigerians who are unemployed. We have a lot of injustice in the system. So we are going to be looking at solving security problem by fixing economic challenges that we have. The issue of unemployment, reward system in Nigeria, judiciary issues, you know, welfare for security men. You know, security by itself would only come to happen when opportunity meets with desire for crime to happen. It's only God that can stop desire, a man who desires to commit crime from not committing crime. But it's the job of the government to stop the opportunity. How do you stop the opportunity? By making sure that things that vet crimes are fixed. Number one, make Nigeria feel like Nigeria. We need to start building the patriotism in Nigeria. And that can only happen when Nigeria benefits from being in Nigeria. Today we talk about countries like America, who are so proud of being an American. Why? Because they benefit hugely from healthcare reform, they benefit hugely from employment scheme, they benefit even the students. Look at our students at home now. What is the concern about Nigerian students resuming back to school? So we need to look at this holistically. The challenge with security by itself, insecurity in Nigeria is a child of a mother of economic hardship. If economic situations is not being looked into seriously, believe me, we might not be able to solve the security challenge. So we are going to be looking at it generally, and we'll be tackling it one after the other.
Thank you so much, Professor Imomala. You're actually right. I was missing the figures. The age of the president in the not too young to run was reduced from 40 to 35. So the age to contest for a president, in Nigeria is currently at 35 based on the not too young to run bill that was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari. So you are way older than that age that is specified. Thank you so much, Professor Christopher Imomala, the Accord Party presidential candidate. Thank you so much indeed for your time, and I wish you the very best in the race.
Thank you so much, Sean, for having me. Thank you.
Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Bye-bye.